Hello. Hello. There we go. Yay, we are live. We are live. Let's see if I can push this over here by the side. What's up, everyone? Just gonna check on something real quick. I'm obviously not where I normally am. There we go. But I'm very curious. Let's see. Thank you, as always, for your patience. Oh, goodness. Okay. So where is my... I'm on a little tiny computer, my little sweet laptop, and I love it, but it is definitely not the easiest for this. So, okay, cool. When you stream on Zoom through YouTube, it can kind of be problematic. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Interesting. All right. It's all good. It's all good. What is up, everyone? Happy Friday. I'm going to just check my phone real quick while I'm saying what's up to you, just to make sure. But, oh, okay, cool. We are live. Doo-doo. What's up? Happy Friday. As you can see, I am not in my regular space, but I'll share a little bit about that in just a minute. So happy Friday. Welcome to the weekly Akashic Forecast. My name is Ahna Hendrix, and I am a spiritual guide, Akashic Soul channel, and the host of the Soul Driven podcast, a weekly podcast where we explore the intersection of living a soulful and spiritual life in a driven and ambitious world. What's up? So, like I mentioned, as you can see, I'm not in my usual place. One of my very good friends was kind enough to let me come and stay in her beautiful home this week. She is out and traveling, and yeah, just come and let me stay here as I have been preparing and creating and pulling everything together for the Confidence series, which we start on Monday. Registration closed yesterday, and I'm so excited because I have 10 beautiful souls who have joined the journey and will be taking off together this Monday. So really looking forward to that. But in preparation, there has been so much. So much. This course is definitely going to, yeah, it's just got so much packed into it, from activations to the tapping to the workbooks, the different topics that we'll be covering, so much. So if you didn't get an opportunity to sign up for this one, just stay tuned, because I have some plans for the future. So not to worry. Okay, so again, hi. Nice to see you. Check out this selenite I've got in my lab. Isn't that insane? So very cool. It's my friend's. I wish it was mine. I learned recently, I heard on a podcast, it was a story about Orion and how one of Orion's gifts to Earth is white selenite. Apparently, black selenite is really their jam. But anyway, it's something I heard on a podcast. I'm still sitting with it. I'm still kind of feeling into how I feel about that, but I can tell you that I have been told that a lot of my background comes from Orion. I should say some of my like most recent background. Um, and I have been obsessed with selenite kind of always since I first started working with it. So it's usually something that I keep underneath my feet when I'm doing readings with clients. It is something that I've got on the ledges of all of the doors and windows in my home. I've got a lot of selenite in my house. I love the energy. It lifts you up and brings you higher. It's a beautiful tool for clearing out your aura, removing any sort of energetic blocks. This one is obviously kind of large, but like I use them as wands to just brush out my aura. So very, very useful, very useful. Okay. So we'll kind of dive in here. Just a couple of announcements, really just one. If you have been struggling or if you're looking for any sort of clarification in your life, whatever the case may be, right now for a limited time, I am offering 10% off my Akashic Record Soul readings in addition to my human design sessions. So a little bit of something for everyone. If this is of interest to you at all, highly recommend. I will be sharing the links below, of course, like I do every week. Kind of looking rough today, but it's all good. I was like watching last week's video and thinking like, wow, I look really cute. But, you know, I had really gone through the trouble because I had plans afterwards. And that's not usually the case, especially after this week, which we'll get into. But anyway, you can check out the links below. I will be sharing them. And this is a 10% off for a limited time. You can use the code summertime. And celebration of summer and celebration of everything that is going on. And June's a big month. June is a month of awakening. June is a month where we are being called to step forward, to shed old things, to shed things that are no longer serving us so that we can step into the new. And so it is a really beautiful time to book an Akashic reading or to really gain some understanding more so about yourself with human design. So many different ways in which you can utilize this. But again, those links will be below. So let's kind of dive into last week's forecast. I would be really curious to hear how last week was for you. This week, I should say, since last Friday, because it has been rough for me. And not rough like it's been a bad week, but energetically, it's been really, really intense. When I was listening back through to last week's forecast, I was just like, yes, 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 all of the things. So let's kind of dive into just some of the things that they talked about last week. First of all, emotions rising to the surface. I don't know about you, but I have definitely been getting hit by fear constantly this week, just kind of like having to like knock it back. taking, you know, like acknowledging it, taking stock of it, but at the same time choosing different things. And when I say fear, I mean fear of just a number of different things. Fear, like literal fear. You know, for me being in a new space, like I can be such a scaredy cat at nighttime. So that kind of fear, into, you know, in my preparations for the confidence series and pulling all that information, fear about like, oh my gosh, this is going to be good enough. Like, are they going to love it? I can really go overboard with stuff, and I have had to really watch that. Fear about what I might have been missing out on this week. Just fear kind of coming from a little bit of every direction. So my partner and I are making some huge, huge plans right now. And I will be sharing more soon. Not ready to do so just yet, but major plans And some of them are starting to formalize, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, because our life is going to really be changing very soon. And so fears about that, just all kinds of different fears. And even the June Akashic forecast talked about the intensity of emotions this month. So if you haven't checked out the monthly forecast, highly recommend doing that. Of course, I'll place a link below. But a lot of information there about the intensity of the emotions that are coming up this month. So that was a big one for me. Something else they mentioned, feeling lost, like, oh, hell yes. The weird thing for me, and I think that this may have started a little bit last week, but every night this week thus far, I have woken up like right around 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:30. I should say like 12:30 to 1:30, somewhere in between then, just like wide awake for like an hour and a half. It's been difficult for me to go back to sleep. And then of course, when I do go back to sleep, I wake up early. And so, but I have, oh man, have I struggled this week with rest and getting proper sleep. I mean, like honestly, always for me, that's a big one. I don't operate well when I don't get sleep. And I have been in full on creation mode this month or this week. And so that has been such a battle for me. Waking up, I'm not in my own space, I'm not in my own home, and I've got all of this content to create and all these different things to do and details to take care of on top of like the regular stuff. And meeting with clients and whatnot. So it has been just a week and a half. Definitely feeling lost. They talked about how, this week we would really feel this like reshifting that is happening, like things are put on a pause. And that's again absolutely how I was feeling. I really felt like I was like walking through mud, trying to get these things done, trying to make things happen. Very difficult. They shared specifically like feeling like you're put in a cage, that will be stopped, and the things that we're doing cut off from where we want to go. Um, and that we're supposed to ask ourselves, like, is it really required of us to do all the things? And I don't know about you, but that, man, did that resonate so intensely. Again, I just felt like I was trying to do so much this week that just was not coming as easily as it normally does, like creating an email just about the confidence series, because of course I was sharing about it leading up to the registration closing. But just crafting an email it took me hours. Hours. Very frustrating, to say the least. Very frustrating. I would have been a complete wreck this week if I wouldn't have been very consistent with my exercise and also clearing out my chakras, doing some tapping, number of those things, because I wasn't sleeping. And I really start to unravel what I don't sleep. Are we really required to do all the things? And this week, I definitely felt like everything on my list was something that I needed to do. Every meeting, everything. There wasn't anything that I could put off or put to the side. And that was difficult for me. And they talked about, this killed me. They were like talking about like, yeah, you can push your way through this week, but it's going to cost you. And it did cost me. This was a really difficult week for me because of that, because I wasn't able to show up as strong as I normally do for all the work I needed to do. And at the same time, I was also like running out of time. And so I felt like I had to push myself through. And, figuring out how to navigate these times in our life when the energy is really wanting us to slow down, really wanting us to chill, but we're looking at our life and we're just kind of like, this is the truth. This is the reality of it. Like, I legitimately can't right now. And I actually like, so I live at the beach, and one of the days, because a lot of the work that I was doing actually could be done away from the computer. So I decided, like, okay, to chill, I'm going to go get away from my screens and just be at the beach and work at the beach. And I was there, I think, for 3 hours altogether. And I got some really beautiful work done. And I really was able to clear my head and feel so much better disconnecting from my screens. But I got burnt. So burnt. I mean, like, I'm talking like sitting on the toilet hurts. Um, and okay, mirror thing just flipped on me again. I got so burnt. Literally my butt is red. And I was joking with my partner. I'm like, you can tell which part of me is definitely like the highest because it's the reddest out of my entire backside. But yeah, it just felt like for me, I had to push through this week. I couldn't just like super chill. And I really tried to navigate, the chill to balance it out, and try to be patient with myself in the meantime, instead of like, like using the whip on myself, just being like, okay, it's all right that you're taking a couple of hours to create this email. It's okay that you're doing these things. And, I don't have all of the answers in regards to how we are really supposed to navigate these things for ourselves. But and I think that'd be a great question to ask, the records, just to get a little bit more clarification. But I also think that that's like a very case by case basis. So anyway, I don't have all the answers. Would be kind of fun if I did, or actually really boring. Probably pretty obnoxious either way. And then, of course, just the last thing I wanted to touch on, which made me just like, when they talked about that sleep is what is most helpful at these times. And I was like, yeah, well, you didn't give me any of that. um, yeah, what can I say? What can I say? I believe that, quite frankly, a large portion of why I wasn't sleeping well was my own fault, because I was very stressed about all of the things that I had to do, all of the things that are on my plate. Um, my assistant let me know last week that she is not going to be able to continue with me at this time because of some big things happening within her family. It was very unexpected, out of the blue, and especially like right before launching my very first course. A big thing, because a lot of the work that was going to be done would be on her part. A lot of the materials she was really going to be helping me with. And so it added a lot to my plate that I wasn't expecting, in a number of different ways. And, of course, by no fault of her own, but that just really, there's a lot of stress. And then coupling that with the fear that I was feeling was really, really hard. So I will be sleeping next week, hopefully. Hopefully. But I'd love to know how your week was. Very, very curious to hear. So yes, feel free to share. Okay, I'm going to get some tunes going for us here. My computer has also been running this so slow this week. Give me just a second here. Not really sure why this is not working. There we go. Sweet. Okay. I will. Oh gosh. You would think it's a Mercury retrograde. At least that's how I feel right now. Okay, hopefully you can hear that. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so let's just put your hand over your heart. Get settled in. Feel into your body, feel into your heart chakra. How does it feel? Does it feel light and easy? Or does it feel rough? As I recommend with these readings, just take in what really resonates with you. Don't feel the need to understand everything that I say or to make total sense of it. Go somewhere quiet, put some headphones in, and see what really resonates with you. You can come back and revisit it in the future. Just going to go quiet here and then I'll be back. give you permission. Masters, teachers, loved ones, what can you share with us about the week ahead? What is most important for us to know? What can we look forward to? What do we need to be cautious or aware of? What is our forecast for the upcoming week? Well, now, this is going to be a bumpy one. Bumpy, bumpy, oh yes, quite bumpy. Not for any other reason other than many things are going to be flying in your direction at once. Yes, there are so many energies in the air at this time. They are looking for a place to land. Land in your life, land in your time. Shuffle the deck, provide a new hand. What would your life look like if it was all jumbled up and spread out again? What would it feel like if you pushed everything together, stuck your hand inside, and simply just pulled out one emotion? What is that one emotion? What is the top riding theme in your life at this time? For it varies depending upon who you are. Yet there is a connection to all of them. Most of them, anyway. And that is the undercurrent of fear. Fear about what is to come. Fear about how things will unfold. Fear that you will not have what it is that you need to have. And this week, well, it will play into those fears. It will continue to bring them to the surface, beckoning you forward to not only take a good, sharp look at them, but to consider how it is that you will deal with them. How will you maneuver as you move forward? What will you do with yourself? Who will you open up to? There are so many questions for you at this time because you are changing at such a quick rate. The frequency can barely keep up. And so your decisions from moment to moment are changing, reworking, reshuffling. Where will they end up when the energies have calmed down? Well, now that is up to you. What we would most like to share is that you do not need to be troubled in these times. Yes, it is always good to evaluate the emotions that you feel, to recognize them, but you do not want to allow them to overtake you in any manner. You must push back, and you can do this by using your voice, by saying things in opposition. When fears arise, question them, question their authenticity, question their credibility. Do not allow them to simply land on your energetic fields and seep their way through. No, no. You must be an active participant these days. But the days of sitting back are gone, which is why things are so intense in these times. For you are meant to play, you are meant to show up, because you are needed at this time and will be so much in the future. Gather your strength in whatever way feels most aligned to you. Do not allow things to simply happen in your life, but create for creation's sake. Take a viable role in all of the things that are occurring at this time, going one by one. Do not allow yourself to be overcome. Do not allow yourself to just sit back and take it. But that is unnecessary. You need not do it. No, you need not fall into line with everything else that is taking place at this time. This week, once again, we implore you to take care of yourself, to rest your body, heart, and mind. Get outside whenever possible. Connect with the foundational things of the earth, the plants and animals, the trees and fields, the songs and melodies coming from the birds of the sky. Do what you can to connect to what is real, what is eternal, what is connected to the most spiritual sense of you. For in the midst of so much coming, I'm done. This is going to be your safe space, but you must cultivate it for yourself. As we have said before, this will not necessarily just be brought to you. You must do your part. You must show up. And you must take your power back. Try to find love and compassion in your hearts for those around you. Do not allow yourself to be filled with the confusion, dissatisfaction, and aggravation of so many. No, guard yourself fiercely, your energetic bodies, ensuring that not just anything is allowed to pass its way through you. For this is imperative at this time. Imperative in so many ways. It stretches much deeper than you would think. We welcome you into this space with us. We welcome you into coming online, into taking root, into establishing yourself, into taking the next steps. Find that steady ground. Plant yourself deeply upon it and hold on tight, knowing that although you may not know where you are going, but having faith that everything will unfold exactly as it's meant to be. Be in these times, be in the times to come. For yes, yes, there is so much, but you can do this. You are doing this. You've been equipped for it. You have all the tools you need. Believe in yourself. Believe in those around you. Believe the very best. And it will be. Okay. Just going to pause that. It feels like we've got quite the week ahead. Something I was really seeing in the beginning that keeps coming back to me visually is this, like, I don't know, it's this vision. Maybe I've seen it in a movie, I'm not really sure, but it's like a volcano, being in the volcano, and there's like solid ground, and like you're stepping upon it and it's like breaking up, and you're trying to like get to a place, and you're trying to like stay steady in the midst of it, and it's like trying to find your balance, and it's really not easy. You really don't know how to do it. Again, I shared, I think this last week, maybe as the week before as well, but that, and they brought it up again today. The importance of us protecting our energetic space is huge, huge, huge right now. I know that if I don't do that kind of first thing in the morning, that I can really get myself in trouble. And thankfully, it's pretty easy to clear out your energy once, if you find yourself in a rough place. But more than once do I feel myself like irritable and upset. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I upset about? And if I can't name it, I know it's not mine. It's the collective. It's maybe a neighbor, maybe something different, But when I call in my guides and I require of them to clear out my energy, to protect it, to reign sovereign over it, those things move out, and it's like, and I draw my energy back to me. So there's nothing getting in that is not in my very highest and best. So if there are difficult things that are showing up, it's because there's lessons for me in them, and I can take them on in a different way versus just kind of like, getting trashed with all kinds of stuff coming at me at one time, a lot of it not even being my own. So highly recommend doing that. I'd love to know how this reading resonated with you. If there was anything in particular that came up. I felt like this reading was just a lot more like direct than last week's reading in many ways. But at the same time, what was interesting about this reading is how they talked about the importance of us taking responsibility for ourselves right now and choosing to play active roles, choosing to participate, choosing to step back into the role of creator, instead of just allowing things to happen to us. Like, we have to take active participation in whatever it is that's going on. And they were really showing me like this whole like sitting back that I feel like we've been doing for so long. That time's gone. Like, we're just not going to be able to do that and find happiness or peace anymore. And it's not that we have to be working all the time. It's not that we have to be doing or giving or all of that all the time. That's not it at all. It's just that we have to show up. We have to be here. We have to participate, like, in protecting our energy, right? In doing things that we need to do within our lives. We can't just let that go anymore. And, if you are having problems in this area, you're not really sure how to do this, make sure that you contact me. I'm happy to share resources with you. I'm happy to point you in directions. There's a lot of information out there on the internet about how to do a number of these things. And I have written a lot of blogs about it, just different ways in which we can find support in these times. So, yeah. Reach out if you need to. Let me see if there's anything else they want me to speak into at this time. They're showing me almost like the management of this world is like kind of starting to shift hands. Yeah, they're saying don't get lost in despair. Recognize the feelings, work with the feelings, but don't let them overtake us. Again, that's why it's so important to protect our energy, is because those tidal waves can be really brutal. And especially if you're like me and like you haven't been getting sleep, or you haven't been taking care of yourself properly, or you know what I mean, you've been running in all those directions, you're not going to have the strength to be able to deal with things the way that you want to, the way that you would prefer to. So again, just so important to protect ourselves energetically. Yeah. It's really all for this week. Just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part. I pray that this serves and that this helps. And, anytime I hear like maybe a more difficult or real message, whether it comes through astrology, Akashic Records, whatever the case may be, my first inclination might be to feel fear or be scared or be like, oh my gosh. But the thing is that we could take this information and be empowered by it. Be like, okay, so this is what is coming this week. So these are some things I need to be intentional about, right? I need to be intentional about taking care of myself, whatever way that looks for you. Eating good foods, making sure that you're laughing, grieving even, like, if you're feeling grief and sadness, like, feel into that, go into that, cry, do all of the things that feel right to you, feel good to you. It's just going to look different for all of us. Bottom line, I think the protection practice and also moving our bodies right now is huge, because with so much energy hitting us from different directions, it can be really confusing about how to work with that energy and how to feel comfortable in it. And when we exercise, we release, we cleanse that energy within us. Showers can also be super helpful for that, but there's just nothing that compares with exercise, and nothing also that's going to really help with those oh gosh, what are the happy fluids in your brain? I can't remember. But if I had not been exercising this week, forget it, and I was tired. I mean, I really had to like make myself do it. And of course I felt a million times better afterwards. And I didn't push myself too hard either in my exercise, but I did show up and I did like break a sweat and those sorts of things, which I think is important, but whatever it is that you can do for yourself, So sending so much love. Have a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Please don't hesitate to reach out if I can help you in any way. And yeah, don't forget, when we invest in ourselves, the world benefits.